orderly things happening, got some traction and activity that's turning into productivity, having new people lunching, Zooms every day. That's that's when you're in some business now. Got this thing going. So let's see here. I'm gonna start with reflections as always. See here and get this show on the road. All right. Carla said that'd be me. That'd be me. All right, as always. Go ahead, Carla. Give us your reflection, guys. Make sure, like I said, we're gonna do this 30 seconds. It comes to reflections, more than 60 seconds. Make sure we get into the training. But go ahead, Carla. Kick us off.
Good morning. Good morning. So, thank you so much, Mr. Bean, for your awesome and amazing millionaire mindset call on Monday. So much. I'm still digesting it. But one of the things that you said is that you cannot have high goals with poor habits when we're talking about the three phases of change. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely an area. And then in addition, Mr. Chris Hart on Tuesday, was it Wednesday? We was talking about the becoming an MVP. So you create the most valuable benefits by being specific. It was the MVP equals MVP time plus MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was very impactful for me as well. So thank you very much for allowing me to share, and thank everyone for just being yourselves this week and just going above and beyond. And I enjoyed the I was blessed to be able to chime in on to come in on Friday for your kickoff with Ken. So
Mm.
thank you so much.
No problem. What you think about that type of training on Friday? That type of presentation
Oh
on
my
Friday?
Oh my God, it was absolutely awesome and amazing. I was able to come in on Thursday evening and also Friday, and it was just awesome. So
Mm.
thank you so much for that. We need more of that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that we talk about that all the time. So as far as this is individual conversations, in most part, you know, um, people are looking at what they want to do for a living, and then they don't want to put the activity behind it. They don't, and whatever activity they put behind it is not congruent to the size of goals they say they want. And so you have people who give you example. You have people who complain about the economy, and you have people who are winning in the economy, but they have winning habits, right? And so when you look at their habits and you look at their work ethic, you look at their commitment, and you look at your goals match what they do, right? But it doesn't match what you do. And the crazy part about it is most people that um, they still find excuses on why they don't change their activity and still keep the goal. And so if you're gonna do it that way, change the goal to match your activity. At least you have something to celebrate. And then once you celebrate it, you can put yourself in a position where you can have bigger goals to achieve, which means that now your goals will force your activity to become congruent. And so that's always a huge nugget. But I'm excited about the presentations as well. They keep on evolving, they keep on getting better. But the most important thing is y'all keep on putting people on them, and that's where it's at right there. So let me know what you really think about the presentations themselves. Got the crazy Cajun, Mr. Boudreaux. What's
Hey,
going
Mr.
on?
Bean. So for me, this week, the highlight of my week was hosting Crash Camp. I mean, Saturday morning, high ticket. I mean, look, that was just phenomenal. First of all, I appreciate the trust that you have in me to do this. And second of all, for having the platform, because a lot of people, I, I don't know where they work. I know where I work, and there's nothing like this on Saturday mornings. This is very special, and I hope everybody deems it so because you're not gonna see anything like this. You're talking about training the trainers
Mm-hmm.
of multi-million-dollar businesses here. So I mean, I don't take that lightly at all. But man, to have the for you allowing me to do that is just very special for me on a very special platform that you created a long time ago. We've been doing this for 10, 12, 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it just gets gooder and gooder every Saturday.
There you
And,
go.
my highlight this week was first that, but the collaboration, oh my God, that presentation is straight up fire. It hits right at business acumen, but it hits at business right in the heart and soul of people's businesses. So I love that presentation. You keep doing that, and I'm gonna keep doing that because I love that presentation, man, like no other. That's one of the best.
Yeah, you went mute. You went mute, Dale. All that power you had, bro. I think so.
Well, so
You
that's
took
one
something.
of
You
the
took
best.
something over there.
That's one of the best presentations you ever put together, and it just. I mean, if you're a business person, you cannot help but look at this as a business. Period. End of statement. That's what that's all about. Forget about all that other stuff. This is straight up business. And when we're presenting to people, that's what we want to present. And the fact that we take what we do and collaborate with your resources, that is so powerful. Because right now in Fortune 500, you know what the word of the day is? Collaboration. And we're 5 miles
Man,
ahead of it. We're five
I
miles
know,
ahead
right?
of it, Mr. Bean.
Hey, I think we got the attention of the universe, the reticular activating system of the universe. Because now all of a sudden, everybody's saying collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. It's like, what? Y'all want this one? Y'all want to start collaborating now? Y'all want to start talking about that now? Y'all just, oh, okay. Yeah. So we glad we can help. We glad we can help, man. But no, man. First of all, you, like I said, just being in the system is a testament that being present and applying yourself works on a lot of levels. Like I said, you were already a professional, as as a contractor and a person over at at Honeywell, and dude, you already, like I said, you already had the intellect, you already had the structure and everything else. Once you wrap your mind around, what we do and what we talk about, and then really, embrace the mission in itself, that's when everything about you and the character just flowed all over. So it was you and Dr. Arlene killed that thing, man. I tell you, it's. I think they probably still talking about it right now. I know Dr. Arlene, y'all just 1-2 punched them, and put everybody against the ropes or put some people down, man. But I know there's a lot of reflection going on, and the cool part about like Carly coming out, like I said, you got everybody who's a part of the system, coming out and making contributions, and that's the thing. That's when you have that infrastructure within the company. That's when you have the company's got its presence as being and but you got to have yours. Like kind of like the GE umbrella. GE back in the day, about the umbrella. You had a lot of multi-million-dollar and some billion-dollar corporations under that umbrella. We just happen to be under this umbrella, right? And so that's what you build your own ecosystem. You build your own thing, and you make sure it functions. Whenever if anything else and everything else fall apart and the wheels fall off, your business within the business has to keep the doors of the company open. Period. If everything shuts down, that means everybody's income goes away. Everybody's lights go out. It means everybody's residual stops. But when you are the person that takes upon yourself, say, you know what, it's my company. I told y'all from day one over a year ago, it didn't matter, whether you paid $199 or whether you paid, if you invested $1 million in the company. This is your company. You are a shareholder. Again, only difference between us is that we're not sitting back, waiting for the company to raise the value of our shares. It's up to us to raise the value of our shares. It's up to us to raise the value of the company's value and take it through the roof. That's right now. People are watching. Literally, I walked in the room last night. That's why I couldn't be on the Zoom with you guys and the CEO, Mr. Navarro, and people have been following us. People have been watching us. Man, I see what you're doing on Facebook. I see what you're doing on Instagram. I see you guys are blowing up, and we got to get together and have lunch and talk about that thing. And I said, you just do it. You just do it. You don't know who's watching, and the more and more you do it, the more and more eyeballs we get on here, the more visibility that comes, the more valuable the company becomes. You now all of a sudden you're seeding and sowing, and next thing you know, that crop, you start to reaping, and everybody now wants to come and reap with you. So. No, we doing our thing. We're gonna continue to get this thing going and shifting gears and trusting to come to do what they do while we do what we do. All right, Philip.
Sure. Yes. Thanks, Mr. Bean, for the platform and allowing me to share. So, yeah, in a nutshell, I'm going to try to sum everything up. Collaboration. That video that you is just the best, the best of the best. I mean, since you've done that, I don't think about the presentations anymore. I know we have the corporate presentation, but I like that collaboration because it's simple. If I were to come in, I mean, I would just get it just like that. So this week has been a wonder for me. So Angel Trend teaches us like networking, and know she's the rock star of that. And I just been continuing to get in my comfort zone. I had a networking event online. They actually got an international event as well, and I want to go to that one. But I had a networking event, met a guy there, had a meeting. He scheduled on my Zoom link. I use Drip CRM. I never had my own calendar link before. I was like, this is professional. He scheduled it right on my link. He presented his presentation. I presented mine. And I actually was already doing my research, and I was like, I can do something like that. I was like, I can add to it, and we can kind of collaborate. And so he got me into that business, but I was like, well, I'm gonna try it out. And I was like, yeah, and we can collaborate. I showed him the presentation. He's like, man, when I come back off my vacation, me and my wife, I want to actually talk with you about this because I see the commissions on it, and y'all got the structure we got, but it's higher. So it's like double or quadruple higher. So looking forward to meeting back with him. Went to another network event the next day, inside event, and it was at at a restaurant. About 9 of us, and the organizer invited us all over. 6 minute, it's called a speed networking event, and that's when you speak up for 6 minutes about yourself. And I never not used to that. I was like, well, I got to sum everything up. So at first, I started talking about you, Mr. Bean, and Mr. Navarro. I was like, well, they put their millions of dollars up in the company to start off for people like you and I. And I was like, it's a home essentials brokerage, and we offer solar, water, security. We're pretty much a one-stop shop, like a business model for all your home essential needs. It's like, and then they started thinking about what is that, and so one by one, sometimes I would stumble with my words. I was like, it's not about how good you sound; it's just doing it, like you just said, just like Nike, just do it. And I just did it. Each table I went to, it got better. And talked to this public adjuster. I mean, I was like high top guy, made all his sales, and we just were going. And I wanted to leave at a certain time because it was at 6 o'clock. It ended at 8. I stayed after everybody else, and the public adjuster was the last guy I talked to, and he said we got to get together. Next day, somebody booked on my Zoom. I got a schedule with them, a realtor, next Tuesday, and it just was wonderful. I was like, wow, I see what Angel Trend is talking about. It's like in Johnny Motors in California, it feels good to just do something, and I want the AET security Ripple. I want to start knocking on doors and doing that. So it's just thank you for allowing me to share.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. That's how you fire off for some wins. That's how you fire off some successes for the week. That's how you feel. I'm talking about. He barely took a breath. He had so much, so many experiences, and that's the magic of it all, guys. You got like you see the evolution. Like he's on an island in Jacksonville. He doesn't like he is the market. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at where he's went from then all the way where he's at now, you see the evolution, hear the excitement, and like I said, when it comes to that networking, like Angel talks about all the time, guys, you got to be out there. People are not coming to your house. Money doesn't have feet. It's not coming to you. You got to go out there and put yourself in the way of money. You gotta go out there and network with some people, shake some hands with some people, mess some stuff up. Man, sound really, really bad before you can sound really, really good and be okay with it. You know what I mean? Because just look at it as that person right there is just one of those people that's gonna get me closer, to my goal of becoming better at pitching my product. If they say no, but again, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. It's your music that they are buying into, Phil. They buying into your belief, your conviction, your commitment. They see it and they hear it in your eyes. They know you believe in something, right? And so they know that what you got your hand. And then when you say what you say, you don't have to know how to put it together. At some point in time, you will. And the more and more you say it, the better and better you get at it. That's why that actual presentation it keeps on evolving. It keeps on getting better. It's like, okay, so what has to be different about this page, or what do I need to take off this page, or what do I need to simplify on this page, what do I need to add in this presentation because it's missing something, and just like the page, when you look at the presentation on Tuesday was pretty different than the presentation on Friday, because the presentation on Tuesday didn't have the slide with all of the companies that collaborate. That's evolution. Some of y'all saw the presentation evolve 2 or 3 times in 1 week, right? And as you have to evolve. You have to grow. And like I said, and you can see the energy, you can feel I can feel y'all's energy. I can feel y'all's excitement about it evolving, because this is a time right now when you look at, I mean, I see Coach on there. Good morning. I see, when we look at my age, I'm 54. You know what I'm saying? And I say 50, not 54. I'm 54. So, so I'm 54. People my age don't want to do network marketing. Okay, not the professionals. Like I said, they want. It's like they want the benefits of it, but they don't want to be caught dead doing it. They don't. It's just not something they want to do for the rest of their life. They feel like, I just give me a business that looks like network marketing, that ain't network marketing. I can make a lot of money on network marketing, get it flow in like network marketing, use the systems like network marketing, and retire one day like the network marketing is supposed to do for me. Give me that, but don't give me network marketing. That's that the pack is like, that's one thing I'm just saying we're gonna talk about today, but it's you got to be evolving, guys, because you are the presentation. The people who you got to impress on a regular basis are not the people who aren't in your business yet. It's the people who are. They need to see you grow. Right? The speed of the group is determined by what? The speed of the leader. The growth of the group is determined by what? The growth of the leader. If the leader has a cap, so does the group. And if the leader has a cap, that means everybody's money's got a cap on it. Okay? So when you look at your group and your group is stagnant, it's not moving, it's because the leader's not moving. Who's the leader? Right? It's not me. I'm not the leader of your group. They believe in you. They join you. They didn't join me. So they're not looking at me saying, "Hey, we're gonna grow with Mr. Bean." They're saying we're gonna be stagnant with X, Y, and Z, or we're gonna win with ABC, or we're gonna be incubating like DEF. Remember, you are responsible, 100% responsible for the successes and the failures, of your other people in your group. But most people only want to take credit for the successes. When they fail, it's not my fault. It's their fault. They did something wrong. No, no, they didn't do something wrong. You did something wrong. Okay. So Philip, great job, man. Keep on doing what you're doing, and keep on making it happen. J&J, James Meadows, and Jackie somewhere lurking, I know.
Yeah, she's lurking, but she ain't here. But I am. Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on? What you
Hey
got for
man,
us?
I appreciate the challenge of wins every week. Sometimes you got to dig a little deeper, but this
Mm-hmm.
week was definitely about taxes. Let's talk taxes. So I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
everybody got their taxes filed on Tuesday. I was
Mm-hmm.
going into mine. I won about 3 grand. I was like, dang it, there's got to be something else here. Looking, looking, looking. Oh, wait, we did solar in December. Put that solar in there, man, getting 8 grand back. So that is definitely a
Mm,
win, right?
mm,
And then
mm.
so Jackie said, well, you ain't touching that. I said, well, what about the state side, So
Mm.
in honor of going to see Stevie Wonder in London with my Aventi in July, that's a big win, man. I sealed the tickets on
See?
that. Going to see Stevie
See?
Wonder in London. I think we'll be doing some solar expansion over in the UK. But yeah, riding on that high, man, and appreciate the platform always, and great training all week long.
Yeah,
Fired up.
that's what I'm talking about. That product of the product. We talk about it, man. I'm like, you think about it for a second. That's a commercial. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, that's actually two commercials, right? And like I said, you played it out right, man. Look, we had taxes, we were at 3,000. The next thing you know, we looked at what else we could write off, and we realized we went solar, got $8,000, and my wife's looking over at my shoulder saying, you're not spending it. That's a commercial,
Little
bro.
piggy
That's a
there.
commercial. That's a commercial. And then you're going to see Stevie Wonder. You know what I mean? Using your actual platform, your travel platform, Eventi. I'm telling y'all, you can talk about what we offer, in an amazing way, but you can talk about what we offer in a way that's believable and impactful if you use the system, and you can talk about it from your use. It's like, and we talked about on the Monday call, with you being a person who works at Rolls Royce and you sell them, but you don't own one. You can't give a person the true experience. I can walk in off the street and sell you anything that I own if I walk in your building, if I bought it from your building. Better than most people because I understand what it did for me. I know what the features, advantages, and benefits of. I know what emotions was attached to it when I experienced it. You don't because you don't own it. You don't have the pride of ownership on it. So when you actually have solar, when you actually have the water, you actually have some security, or you have actually use the travel program, you become a walking, living, breathing billboard of what you represent. That's why Philip, when he said it don't matter how the words come out. Did you hear the music? Yeah, he heard the music. So that's what's most important. Remember, you learn how to love the music before you learn the words of a song. Think about it. How many times you actually have to hear a song before you learn the words? You listen to the song comes on. You listen to the music first, and then and only then you start to listen to and you start to learn the chorus, the hook, right? So you're not just tapping your feet no more. Now you waiting for the hook and you coming in with the hook. That's all you know, right? It's like a person who had karaoke night and you don't know any of the songs. That like me when Mr. Love Lover came out, and now my first time doing karaoke was the worst song I could ever choose because I never did karaoke. And I thought Mr. Lover Lover was all the words to the song. So I didn't know that they had a whole lot of other words up in there. So until I saw them on the screen, I'm sitting up there frozen in front of a lot of people on this cruise line. I'm like, they have nowhere to go, But the fact of the matter is, that's what got me hooked. The hook, and the hook is, guys, you're keeping everybody making money, more money than they've ever made in their life, without disrupting their day, giving them access to what you offer, right? You're about to turn their life into a living heaven, right? That's what they've been waiting on. You know how many people out there trying to scale their business, and you think you got to be perfect to pitch what we have? No, 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 no. You don't. You just have to let them know what we have, because this is the problem with that, especially when you have other people out there in actual network marketing companies selling network marketing. They're out there pitching their coffees, their teas, their everythings. And those people who need something are going to join a company that they really don't want to be a part of because they need the money. And the most important reason they're going to join because you didn't tell them about yours first. So them joining another company is your fault. Okay, so look at it like that. Yeah, look at it like that. But that's great, Jim. Those are two huge, man, two huge, testimonials. Because people always ask about, always start. They're now starting to ask about the tax, deductions and benefits when it comes to solar. And we've been talking about Aventi for a while. So appreciate you, bro. Jeremy, let's go.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic.
So my wins is finally taking a bunch of your trainings that I've been with you for 3 years and actually using it. You've always talked about that circle. Robert Kiyosaki, or the Rich Poor guy, he talks about it too. How you have self-employed, you got employees, you got business people, and I always thought like a self-employed guy. So recently, I expanded my business, my lawn care business, to now I
Mm,
hire people to do brickwork. I hire people to do windows and doors, and I'm hiring people to do it. And then the light bulbs started hitting. Mr. Bean's been talking about this all along, how if you build a team, you're going to make more money than that person that's out there just selling and doing a thing. And it's like, I've always just been thinking, okay, like a self-employed guy instead of thinking like a businessman. And now I'm kind of expanding my business. And then now that this roof things came on too, and I'm in a kind of a different category, not just grass. Now I'm getting into the home business where I'm actually brick, windows, doors, roofs, stuff like that.
mm,
My business is
mhm,
just going to explode. But now I see
mhm,
more of the picture of building a team behind on the build side, and letting them sell solar, letting them do stuff. But I wanted to say thank you. But that's the wins that I'm getting, that your teaching is sinking in. Like I'm hearing it, but I wasn't using it. So I'm starting to use it, and it's working on all levels.
Yeah. And you know, Jim, just go back, you know, to what we I was teaching this when we was doing coffee. I was teaching this when we were doing travel. You know, I was teaching this when we were doing investing. And the thing about it is, it's you keep on teaching it because people are going to get it. You know, when they hit them. You know, it's like it's the only perfect timing when it's your timing. Like when it hits you, that's when you're ready, right? And so now here it is. You get a chance to see it, and some people I have a lot of people talk about the part when it's the presentation, and I talk about the identity part, the mindset part. Yeah, people who they really now realize that they have not even with us, but they look at what they do and realize how much money they actually leaving on the table. Period, with what they do. Like literally, like you have everything you do, Jeremy, is around the house for the most part. The yards that you cut, all the stuff that you do, the power washing that you do, all that stuff is attached most of the time to a yard that somebody owns. And so all those doors now, guess what? Remember all those doors that you knocked for solar back in the day that we couldn't do in St. Louis because we wasn't in that region. Guess what? Now you can go back because they said yes then, they'll say yes again. Hey man, I'm glad we had that conversation last year. Now we've expanded our solar territory, and guess what? Now we can do your roof. Bro, you used to knock 300 doors a weekend and sometimes on a Sunday. So now all of that's about to come back. So you come back to hunt, this is about to come back, to pay you. So, man, and then you got your offerings too. You expanding your offerings on top of the offerings that we have. Oh, it's about to go crazy, man. I'm excited for you, bro. Very, very excited about that part and that evolution. And it hits, man. I appreciate you, with that nugget. That's a nugget right there for you. All right, Dr. Arlene.
Good
The
morning,
owner,
sir.
for,
Good
the owner and
morning,
proprietor
Voice
of the
of
George family
Family.
business.
Oh, that's right, CEO. Don't call me
That's what
boss
I'm talking
lady.
about.
Hello. As you can see, I am definitely excited. My wins for this week were being a product of the product. Yes. So tell Mrs. Bean, I'm waiting for my Clio.
Uh-huh.
Secondly, it's being a student of the system, being a student of you and Mrs. Bean, the Book of Bean. Everything that you've exposed us to, from Grant Cardone to lead generation to, it's all coming together, and it's beautiful music. I actually bought myself as a gift for my first independent sale a necklace, a diamond necklace that has a musical note on it, a clef note on it, to remind myself that when all these things come together, when I continue to grow and develop, then I make my individual music and I sing my song, and that's what it feels like right now. And I've got to really plug Idris, because he has been holding my hand and by my side through this entire process of becoming a solar professional. And so I got to tell this one story, and I'm gonna try and make it really, 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 really fast. So my second sale, Sarah was the appointment setter, and she set it up right. And I get on there, and he's got 6 other bids already. And I'm like, okay,
Wow.
no problem. I got this. I got this. So I get on there now and I presented the proposal to him. And but before that, I asked a ton of questions, fact-finding questions about why was he interested in solar? Why 6 different proposals? What's most important to him? And he rattled off a bunch of stuff. And availability was his top list. It was at the bottom of his list, but it was really his top obstacle. So I do the presentation, and he's like, well, I've got a guy who already did my solar. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Tell me what I need to do to earn your business. So he gave me his criteria. I booked another appointment with him, got back, went back, did my research, got it together, came back again. Mr. Customer, here's what it is. Guess what? He came up with some more objectives. No problem, Mr. Customer. What do I have to do to earn your business? He told me. I went back. I researched. God woke me up at 3:00 in the morning, and he said, print out, and by the way, he has 2 properties. Print out your installation map, because if he wants to go with a local person, then if his local person did his 2 neighbors, let me show you how many of your other neighbors we did. So I wrote it down on my little index card by my bedside, got up, printed it all out, and set an appointment with him. Again, the follow-up was yesterday. got on there with him, and he's like, I really want to, you've been really helpful. You've been this, that, and the other, but my guy's supposed to get back with me. I said, what's your guy supposed to get back with you about? Well, I wanted a battery that lasted longer, but now I looked at the Teslas. I said, okay, what if I come up with a proposal for you, right? That includes the Tesla battery. Is there anything else that will keep you from doing business with me at our next appointment? And he's like, no. I said, excellent. Mr. Customer, what time this evening are you available? 2 hours later, guess what? We got on there. His guy hadn't called him back yet, right? And by the way, I complimented his wife, who was in the background listening all the time and never said a word, right? Got on there, Mr. Customer. Your guy got back to you? No. Mr. Customer, this is what I can do for you, right? Is there any reason you would not do business with me? Well, I really wanted, and then the wife chimed in and she said, he ain't called you back. And she's on the phone and she's in your ballpark. And I said, checkmate, we done. And he said, Gail, you're right. Arlene, what do we do next? Boom. Grant Cardone.
Oh my God.
Book a bean. The fortune is in the follow-up. And I am flat fired up because we've got so many different things going on. And I can't wait to get the recruiting arm beginning to build the momentum the way the sales arm is doing. So thank you, sir.
No, that's fire. See, like you love them stories because the one is it's like there's a lot of the obvious nuggets in there, but then you turn around and you compliment the wife. You remember, you ain't getting the business if the wife don't want you to have the business. Like I said, remember that's why we always talk about having both of them on the phone, right, or on the Zoom. But like I said, she never said anything. You complimented her. That's her. That's his natural, organic business partner. He's still got to confide with her. So if you don't connect with her, if you don't go out there and make sure she knows that she matters and that she's relevant and that she's worthy of your attention, and you feel like you only going to talk to the person who controls the money or who's responsible for this transaction, yes, no. Like I said, you needed an ally in that situation. He had 6 other people. He was gonna always come up with a reason not to buy. But you had to have somebody that was on his side of the fence push him off of it. Period. That he was always gonna come up with something. That's just how he was designed. But you did your thing though. Like I said, you keep on keeping on. Don't quit. Continue to ask those questions. You continue to ask the right questions. Is there anything else that after the day when we had this presentation that would keep you from doing business with me? I'm giving you everything you need. I'm letting you, determine whether this deal go forward or not. Again, that it lets you know persistence. That's a beautiful thing. But y'all, that family business, and congratulations again on number 2. We were talking about that last night. Number 3 is coming, number 4 is coming, number 5. You got all these things in the pipeline. Y'all got the system humming, and the crazy part about it is now y'all are going to be putting together some things when it comes to the recruiting side that definitely won't be a part of. So I'm excited we get a chance to continue to build that model out, and then take it out to the group and show them how to do it when it comes to lead generation. So keep on doing your thing. I'm proud of you, Sarah and Dan. You guys are.
Can I have one more thing, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
So, I'm retiring, right? From medicine.
I've been using that.
Yeah, they called me back. Talk about another agency wants you, and you're gonna work. You only have to come into the office 2 days a week, and we're gonna pay you the same salary.
Look.
Read my face. I'm on track to make more at this itty bitty crawling pace to make more than I make in medicine. And you're going to talk about you need me for 2 days in the office for the same. No, I would be losing money working for you. Thank you very much.
That part. Now you know your value. Hey, it is what it is. They can't pay you enough. At that point in time, they got to overpay you. Like Dale went back with a plan. Dale made them overpay. Give me this, give me that, this, and that. And oh, by the way, let's just go ahead and double everything up. And and they said, okay, and have no choice. Remember, what you bring to the table, that's what I say, guys, what most people don't know is what you learn and who you evolve into and who you become in these platforms. People can see. And when they see it walking out the door, that's when they see the value leave, right? When they know that you woke up and realize how powerful you are, what you bring to the table, and they realize what they're about to lose and how hard it is to replace it, you know. And that's when they start to now sell you, why you should stay or why you should come back. Always and forever, guys, continue to increase your value right there in front of people, and make them pay you for it now, or make them pay you for it later. All right. Solar Vic,
Very good.
Hey, Mr. Bean. Oh, hey, everybody.
on it.
Out here looking at my acre that I got in my backyard and just uh doing my floor plan on how I'm gonna make this property the a real nice gym down here in Colonial Beach.
Mm.
I got my little girl last night, and she's still sleeping, so I'm gonna move quick. Uh, Mr. Bean, I want to just thank you for that little conversation we had because it was not little at all. It was actually very impactful, and I needed that punch in in my face, and I appreciate it because one thing I can say about you, Mr. Bean, is you're not going to take nobody. You're not playing no shorts from nobody, and I really, really value that, and it definitely lit a fire under me. So my I got 2 wins, and just to let everyone know, it's like it was awesome after that conversation. Um, so my car is in the shop, and normally, I utilize my car to do Lyft to meet new customers, and I took a part time job. You know, I didn't want to, but I went in and took a part time job. I figured I could meet new people there, make a little hustle, make some money, whatever. So I already got a couple of leads at that job, and since my car is in the shop,
Vic, you froze on us. All right. Vic, you still froze on us.
I got a
No.
realtor list. I called, I'm going to say nothing less than about maybe 50 to 60 roofers in the last 2 days. I do have about 8 or 9 follow-ups. One of them was kept on asking questions, and I said, "Hey, look, man, I really want to answer all your questions, but this isn't the time to do that. I said, because what I have is, extremely valuable, and I just don't want to make sure. I just want to make sure you don't miss anything." I said, because once I meet you again, I'm looking to move forward with you. So let's just rebook that right now, and I'll get back with you. And he was like, "Hey, man, I understand." So I showed the real value to it, and then I took control. I asked the questions. You want to ask me questions? You book with me in the next appointment. You can ask all the questions you want. But right now, this is what I got, and I'm telling you, the amount of confidence and the respect that I'm receiving on the other line. They don't know me. They don't know what I'm going through. They don't know my hardships. And guess what? It ain't none of their business. But what I can tell you is that they saw the value. They wanted to keep on asking me questions. Like, no, this isn't the time. I'm just piquing interest, booking the next appointment, boom. And I got that collaboration on my PDF ready to rock and roll. I've been practicing in the mirror, and Mr. Bean said something to me. He said, you know what? The position you're going to have is leadership in this company. Do you want that, or you just want to do sales? And I'm like, that is definitely a goal. The bigger the dream, the bigger the work, the bigger the follow up. It's that simple, guys. And it's that fire, man. I'm telling you, being in the right place at the right time is an understatement. And now, I was on a call last night with Mr. Navarro. I did not get, I got on because I didn't know what was happening, and I didn't. Oh, so what's this? Because I had my daughter, so I didn't really get on the beginning. But from what I did hear, oh wow, game changer. So yeah, any roofers on here? It's time to take some action. No excuses, no more. Let's go. And
There
Mr.
you
B,
go.
thank you. And yeah, I'm going to be doing
Yeah.
some bookings in 3 ways with you, sir.
Yeah. And I know. And that's the thing is, guys, when you talk about, us, we're all adults. And the thing about it is, when you have an actual leader and you tell this person, this is what your goals are, and you give them permission to be honest with you, give them permission to be direct. Um, if anybody ever gives you the permission, to be honest and be direct, don't be rude. Make sure that you are, because you're speaking to another human being, just make sure that you're speaking to a person on purpose about what they said they wanted. And then let them know at that point in time the activity that you say you want is not congruent with, you know, the goal that you have. And it's like in this situation, this scenario, it wasn't necessarily activity. The activity was there. It's the process that wasn't. Again, you can't skip steps in the process, right, and get the desired results. And so when we had the conversation, I went straight to the point. This ain't about you, bro. This is about me giving you advice because of your daughter. Okay. And so your goal, your daughter is your goal. So your daughter is now my responsibility, right? Just like it is yours, like she is yours. And so this is what you want. This is what you have to do. Right. And if you don't do this, it's not me that you have to answer to. It's the goals that you have for your daughter. Right. And then boom, you know what? I got it. I'm right. You're right. Let's rock and roll. You want we won't be talking about that no more. That won't be a challenge, and everything takes off. Guys, again, it's about that's why you have coaching and leadership. If you have a mentor that you can't take advice from, you don't have a mentor. You don't have anybody to trust. You don't have a coach. That person is just there as a figurehead. If you have somebody again that you respect, that you trust, and you're giving that person permission to give you honest feedback, because they're qualified, take the information and run with it. Right? Get your emotions and your ego out the way, and take that advice, process it, reflect on it, and if it's right, run with it. If it's don't, you probably got the wrong mentor, or you're the wrong person for that mentor. Yeah, and so you have people's lives at stake. This is not about 199, right? This is about a lifetime of you doing business and doing business with people and doing life with people and building relationships with people. And so 199 ain't nothing. It's about, again, you growing, helping a person grow, helping the person change their life, and helping the person get to the point to where they can help other people change theirs. So appreciate you, bro. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ms. Nava.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. After hearing Jeremy talk, I thought I'd talk too. I'm having kind of a situation like Jeremy. Well, as you know, I had a remodeling company, and I kind of stopped it to learn the car business. But I keep getting calls, right? And then I called some customers about solar. It was funny because I got calls and I called some customers about solar. That's pending. But right now it's the car business time, so I've been trying to sell cars because I only have certain months here in Colorado to do that. And I've been talking to everybody that has come in, and I talked to one of the reps from the bank because we have a new office, so we're getting new reps, and I got a lead from one of the reps. Of course, I told him that I wanted to talk to him about the business, so we have a meeting to be scheduled yet, but I've just been telling everybody and hearing Jeremy about the business. I'm just thinking in my mind how everything is coming back to it and how it's coming, structure back into it. And I'm like, well, they're calling. I'm trying to get this commercial deal, and I just think, I'm like, okay, Brenda, what's going on with the business? Let's get back on it, and that way you can get more leads, and maybe I can get more commercial. So that's where I'm at. I'm actually talking to the owner of our new office, because he has he works for Infinity of Denver, and they have 2 commercial buildings, and we have one of them. So we got that offer. So I moved from where I was at, and I'm over here now. But the cool part about it is we're also doing a BK program, a bankruptcy program. But we got all these leads that are going to be able, in the future, that I'm going to be able to offer, because I know a lot of these people are going to want a house too. But I'm very excited about that, and just hearing Jeremy how he's putting everything together with his company. I'm like, well, wait a minute, you already have a way to do this. Just do it. And I've been telling everybody, because I've been listening to your videos, and I couldn't get on the call last night, but I listened to it. I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to be way easier. So I've been telling people, I actually have one of the car sales guys who I've known since I started the car business. I invited him to build. He just got his real estate license, so he's doing real estate. And I told him, this is going to be perfect for you. He listened to your video. We still have to do the three-way. He hasn't confirmed yet because it's busy time for him too. But I'm very excited about what's coming. And I just want to let Jeremy know that he motivates me a lot to do what I need to do. Because this business, being in the car business, as tough as it is as a woman, and when you get into the industry of building, it's tougher too. But I already have, some experience with that. And talking to my dad, and he's like, "Girl, what are you doing? You got this. Don't be scared of, no man letting you." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not scared. Listen, I got this." He's like, "Just go." And you have roofing now? He's like, "Come on, just do it. Just do it." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, let's go." So I
Yep.
just
And,
wanted to
and
share that with you guys.
no, and that's good stuff. I mean, because you remember you had the roofing company, what I mean? So that puts you right back in the same vein. It puts you right back in the same space, that you were, successful in already. And now you have, the company behind you on a whole nother level with a whole entire different book of business that you get a chance to offer with it. But like I said, you have now found a way, different avenues of approach to all these clients that you have, all these resources you have on the table. Now you're thinking different outside the box. You're opening up that thought process, and it just happens, guys. I'm just telling you, when y'all get on here, y'all don't know who you're going to impact when you actually put yourself in a position where you give a real genuine win, and that win is from evolution, and you got something to show for it, like you've now started to take your business and expand it out, and realize what you had your hands on the whole entire time. You have other people that you are impacting indirectly, because they hear us, and it's like, they put us in a different status, and it's like, no, we came from where you at, but because we're already here, when they meet us, it's like, yeah, they different. No, but when they hear people, you know, that have come in, like we call it, in that class, like people who came in with you last year at the same time, they base they life and stuff and their accomplishments and their abilities off of that class's evolution, right? Or that class's regression. It's the same thing. And so at the end of the day, you looking at your peers saying, "Oh, what are they doing? Okay. Oh, they quit. I should quit. Oh, they winning. I should think about winning or win." And so you guys are becoming who you guys are becoming. So again, think about it. Each and every last one of you have seen a lot of you start presenting, for the company. I'm not even talking about in person, you know, training for the company, or going out there and becoming a specialist in different areas, like Kathy and water, like, Idris and solar, like Dr. Arlene, in solar, like Sarah and Dan in lead generation, right? Like, y'all see each other do y'all thing. Y'all see each other evolve. Sabrina, project manager, and over on the roofing side for us, making things happen, putting things together. So Brenda, you out there door knocking when we first came up with the roofing. You doing the first Spanish presentations for the group, and presenting in Spanish for the company, right? So you guys are, and Carly every Saturday morning, the first person, to raise a hand to speak, taking lead, and Angel doing the all y'all see each other, Angel training, Angel, doing role playing, all y'all seeing each other step up, all y'all pushing, the thing. Matt and Roxy doing their thing, you know, Johnny Montes knocking on doors. Yeah, all y'all see, remember, this ain't got nothing to do with me, from a standpoint of, you're not looking at me every week. You're not even hearing me that every week. You basically looking at each other. All of y'all are evolving because it's fun to grow together. That's what y'all have been doing. That's what championship teams do, right? The ecosystem that you guys are building and that you guys are contributing to, that's the reason why you'll have people coming into this group making $100,000 a month. Not because the company is so great, but because you are. Remember, when we were at 75 grand a month, we had other groups in the company that were making $700 a month. Right. And so it's about you as the leader, and what you're creating, and what your people are buying into. Everybody's buying into ownership, and all y'all own a different division of this business. The Foresight business, all y'all own different divisions. All y'all responsible for different parts of this company that we run. Right. So I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. The presentation team is ridiculous. Like I said, what you're looking for is looking for you. Y'all know we have the Web3, blockchain, all that stuff coming out. Well, guess what? You got Ken, who's going to be talking about, Web3, blockchain, all that stuff. I'm like, he's going to be groomed in the system. He knows a whole lot about Web3 and everything else now, and he marries the system. He figures out what we do on this side of the table and how we go out here and perform, how we go out here and serve, how we go out here we got our Web3 guy, we got our blockchain guy, right? You got all the different types of people who offering like Coach. He's gonna be offering all type of services. We ain't talked about it yet, but I'm sure at some point in time he's gonna be speaking, and y'all will see him on a Thursday offering something. But God is sending us, and our Creator in the universe is, let me say that, sending us exactly who we need and what we need, right? And we just need to be better. That's all, because that's how we fill in the other gaps. That's how we attract everybody else from all these different professions that we need somebody to attract and say, look, we have a financial planner, a financial advisor, a blockchain guy. We had a consultant. We got, a tree climber. We got a cement layer. We got all the, and next thing you know, guys, we are a one-stop shop for everything. Even if the company doesn't have it, we have it. Period. Now, our networking, again, on the presentation, 150 unique industries and sub-industries. Right? That's not that, I didn't put that in there for the homeowner. I did, but I didn't. I put that in there for you because you don't know how big this is, right? Think about it. How many actual companies that are built and cater to homeowners out there? That's when you understand those numbers and how many industries that cater to it, guys. We are at the center of the economic universe when it comes to having an economic explosion. We're at the center of it right now. And I even said it on Kenneth's event. I'm like, hey, some of y'all gonna be here, and you might not do business with us, but this call might trigger something, for you. Where you can go out there and put this in your business, and use what we're using in our company and yours. It don't matter, just if we impacted your life that way indirectly and we never know about it, it's okay, but at least you got a chance to see what we're doing, and you get to live with the consequences, because we're going to show you how big this thing is. All right, we're going to blow this thing up, and if you want to sleep at night, you'll join. If you don't, good luck. So get you some sleeping pills, because you're gonna need them. Matter of fact, Coach, I'm gonna end with you, but I'm gonna take Kathy first, and then I'm gonna end with you, Kathy.
Great morning. I apologize for raising my hand so late, but I was in an environment where it was so loud. But
It's all
however,
good.
it's all good. Yes, it is. I just want to thank my senior business partners, Bree and Eddie and Angel, for all that they do. But everything everyone has said is so true. In regards to our business. Like you said, I found my niche. Even after my lunch, I've been continuously following up with my people. And we know how it goes. You get all these no's or whatever. But like you said, Mr. Bean, this morning, the song, you hear it over and over again. And until you see the words in front of you, it doesn't really click until you be like, oh, wow. So anyway, I said all that to say this. The collaboration that you are doing and the presentation that you're doing, it is clicking, and it's making a difference in the approach that I take with everything. So I don't know if any of you all know this, but I'm a health nut. And I've been drinking alkaline water since 2008. And so it just really just clicked one day. Hey, do what you know and stop thinking, oh, you can't do solar. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. So anyway, long story short, I was doing business with someone that does supplements or whatever. And so he's like, oh, I do this and I do that. And I said, well, what do you mix your product with? He said, well, I use alkaline water. I said, do you buy your alkaline water? And he said, yes. I said, well, I have something that can keep you from spending money, going out, lugging in water, buying bottles, then not take care of the environment or whatever, and blah blah blah. So I told him about the Alka CT or whatever. He said, well, I am so interested in that, and da 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 da. So anyway, long story short, I'm going to be setting up a one-on-one with him because I talked with Miss Bean, and she said, you've already piqued interest. He already knows what the product is. And so I'm just moving forward from that. And from that, he led me to somebody else. And so I yet to have to follow up with that individual. And let me just say this, distractions are so real. It just seems like when you become focused and you decide that you're going to do something, you're going to change your life or whatever, things just come. Just this week, for 2 days this week, my head was pounding. So that's why I wasn't on a couple of the calls. Even if I was on, I wouldn't have been able to listen. So it was just crazy. Distractions come. Even with my mom's 87. I had to put her in a nursing home. I mean, just distractions after distraction after distraction. But I have determined in my mind, I'm going to continue to stay focused. I may not be, following up with, my 8-point system, but trust me, I am doing the work. I really, really am. In between all the little distractions, I'm doing that. So anyway, that's my win for the week. Doing
Hey,
great
no,
things.
that's good. I'm gonna tell you, long story short, all I know is this. Hey, you out here rocking. Stay focused. Don't, like I said, from headaches, to life aches, you know what I'm saying? It's just life is going to happen. When you get ready to go out here and have a monster day, career, life, you're going to be confronted by violent opposition, period. So expect it. Don't run from it. Run through it. Run to it. Remember, when you look at Napoleon Hill's book, The Master Keys of Riches, right? That chapter talks about definites of purpose, and it talks about you when you have a definites of purpose and you actually set out to go out there and hit that goal. The moment you go in emotion, you have obstacles that come in your way, and that they're supposed to, right? There's no test without a test. Well, there's no testimony without a test. They're supposed to get in your way. So what you do is, when you see those obstacles, you put your head down and you run at them harder, faster.
Mhm.
And this is what happens. They will get out of the way, right? If you running, because they know if they don't get out of the way, you will run through them. So now, when they get out of the way and you run through, right? What happens is you're running so fast, the current, the backdraft, everything that you create when you pass them up drags them into it and push, and then now they're behind you, pushing you, you know, faster towards your goals and accomplishment of your goals. And I'm gonna just say right now, that helps. You now move faster than you've ever moved before. When you have
Yeah.
that awareness breakthrough, that you are now in the right place, right time, doing the right thing, you're in momentum,
Mhm.
that nothing can stop you but you. Literally,
Yeah.
last night I was
Yeah.
at an event, and I had a pastor that I had just talked to. It wasn't even 3 days ago. We were there to support a friend who's launching his business, and he's got a building, launching his office, and we are all mutual friends. But I didn't know he was going to be there. We were both just there to support. And I walked out of the conference room where I was on the listening to Mr. Navarro last night about the roofing, and he was there, and he literally gave me a lot of validation and stuff about what's going on, and me and my wife talked about it last night for about an hour. Just how my creator is moving in my life, and how the validation here, and how you know everything that is lining up, and everything that I talked about, everything we've been working toward, everything. He went through everything last night, and I'm gonna just tell you, embrace it. Love everything you're growing through, not going through. You ain't going through nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's learn to love and embrace, and experience and take in everything you're growing through, because that's your book. That's your movie. That's your autobiography. That's everything that sells later on in life. Remember, there are the movies out there that are really good movies, blockbuster
Yeah. And the
movies.
other light
Can you
bulb
hear me,
moment
Captain?
is everywhere I walk, I realize there's no shortage of money. There's always construction. There's always something. I see new cars all over the place. So there is no shortage of money. Like you said, whoever is looking for me, I'm looking for them as well. So it's just a matter of
Yeah.
time.
The money never left. Like I said, the money is here. The money is there. But again, guys, just know that you literally are in a position to take what you're growing through and change millions of people's life. That's your personal, assignment. It's your personal affliction. That was assigned to you because there are so many people out there with that same affliction, that same challenge, that when you actually get through it, okay, now you can turn around and free those other people. Okay, without you, it's like they're hopeless. Without you, they don't have a way. That's why right now it's so many people who are looking at us saying they still here. They're looking at us saying, you know what, we've been needing money, but now we know we can trust them now. I know for a fact I can trust Angel now because I see Angel doing a training every Monday. Or I see Angel on Facebook every two, or I see Angel on Facebook every Saturday. Or I see, Dr. Arlene on Facebook every Saturday, or whatever it is y'all are posting. I see Roxy posting. I see Matt posting. I see, Johnny posting. They see y'all posting. They see y'all going live. They see everything y'all doing, but they continue to see y'all do it consistently while they see everybody else doing something else, trying everything else. What we are doing is showing people that we 100% believe, in what we do and that we're getting the results. Okay. And so y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Appreciate you. All right, Coach.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
welcome, Coach Ethers, to the building and to the family. First time on a crash camp, guys. First time, just got started with Ken Francis. First time on crash camp, and he got the microphone. Come on, man.
Hey, you know what? I wasn't gonna say that, Sam. I was not. I get back here and be the fly on the wall. The first time, don't come in and you the first time in my house, don't do nothing crazy. Just relax, watch, and enjoy the company, eat the good food. That's what I was supposed to do. But my heart won't allow me to do it, man. The energy that I connected with you this week, and this is my first time meeting him, and I connected with Sam through Ken Francis, who I've known 15 plus years. 15 through network marketing. He told me, he said, Coach, you got to meet Sam. I'm like, yeah, okay. You know how people tell you got to meet somebody? I'm like, yeah, okay. Sam just another guy that Ken knows that I don't know. That's how I was going about it. So
right.
finally get on the call. Well, I watched the replay of one of his first live, whatever first.
Okay, collaborate. Right.
And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty good. I understand that. Guess what was in the way? I'll come back to it, Sam. Guess some was in the way. And I was like, okay. And I told Ken, I watched it, man. It sounds good, but I know I'm in my own lane. I got something I'm doing. So I said, I'm not distracted. So I kept on doing it. So I got on the live, and bro, when I got on that live, when they say the replay don't do no justice to a live event, the energy was like, wow, pow, pow, pow. I'm like, I'm done. Collaboration. I told Ken, I'm in. Before we got off the call. So the next day, I think it was the next morning, Ken connected me and Sam on the phone, and you had to be there in order to see the transfer. See, you got to have a pass in order to transfer to the next level. Sam, I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you a long time. I'm 58 years old, but age ain't nothing but a number, guys. I'm telling y'all, don't let the number fool you.
Nothing but a number.
I've been looking for Sam, and Sam has been looking for me. See, it's a two-way transfer. And I said, I'm in. I got on a call with Sam one-on-one, gave him my vision of what I want to accomplish through collaboration. And it's all collaboration. But you know why I found out people don't like to collaborate? It's because they want to be in competition with you. And sometimes it's not even you. And Sam, you said something this week that changed my whole vision. Ego. When you broke down ego. But I had to figure out, Sam, what was connected to my ego that wouldn't allow me to grow. And I was hurt because I have paid a lot of money looking for people like Sam Bean to help me grow. And they will always disappoint me. They will start for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months. They give you even a year. And I got on this call this morning, and there's people that have been with Sam Bean for years. That showed me something. He's not fake. He's not real, because people don't hang around you for years and you're not developing them. And some of us is like the bamboo tree. Some of you guys, you in your 5th year, you finna break through. Some of you guys, I've been in the bamboo, I've been under the dirt. So I connected, I'm breaking through this week. My win is I showed up. 40 people, I looked down, 40 people showed up, you already won. You don't have to speak, you already won. But you got to know and believe that you are the one to win. If you don't believe you are the one to win, how you gonna win? I'm done, Sam. I'm sorry. Man, I'm not sorry. No, because it had to come out.
You ain't. It's good
I'm not
stuff.
sorry.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell y'all. I would be lying if I tell y'all I'm sorry. This is just who I am. And so when I get the mic, I'm gonna pour out because I already know Sam is gonna pour into me because that's what he's designed to do. And we're connected to this event. And I thank God for each and every one of you, whether you celebrate it or not. We still gonna celebrate. See, that's the thing about life. Celebrate and believe in what you want to believe in, who you are. Other people don't have to agree with you. Just roll with you. Hey, Dr. George, thank you. Everybody that spoke, man, y'all just lift me up. I'm ready to go. Let's go, Sam. I'm done.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. That's all. Like, and as a matter of fact, that's what. Hey, look, there it is. Brought it back from Friday. That's how we ended the call. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all right there. So, and it's crazy because that presentation slide, I'm like, the big idea was all the collaborations on it, but the thing about it is that keeps people from seeing the big picture, right? Is that ego. And like I said, that edging goes out. And it's like that thing is like it's just at some point in time, okay, you don't know when that message is going to hit you, but when it do, like you said, that's when the floodgates open, and there's nothing that a person can do to get in your way, including you. Like I said, with me, it was the same thing. When I was always my own man, because I grew up taking care of my family. Like I said, because Pops was in and out of the household for his reasons, right? And so at 8 years old, I'm out here hustling. I'm out here drawing photos and selling them on the streets for $1. I'm washing cars and people know my store. I'm jumping in and out. We talked about this, jumping in and out of trash dumpsters to grab bottles, them old Coke bottles, recyclable bottles, and Sprite bottles that was recyclable bottles and cans and stuff like that, doing whatever I could do all the way up to this. So when I became a man and I started making money and I started doing things, like, I'm still my man, I'm self-made. I'm like, I'm out here to take care of my family, other people's family. And it's like, I don't need another man to tell me what to do. And I was capping. And I'm not even talking about what the youth talk about capping today. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't out here flying with swag capping. I was capping my income, my lifestyle. I was like, I had put a roof on my money and on my growth. And that's the thing. That's what I talked about on Monday night, the conditioning process. For those of you who hadn't seen the Millionaire Mentorship Call, you should go back and watch it because it'll free you. That one will do something to you. It'll stir you up because that one wasn't meant to be nice. That one wasn't meant, to be, all hunky dory. Hey, step 1, step 2, step 3. No, that's no. That one is gonna make you do some soul searching. It's gonna get in there and make sure that you put yourself in a position where, you're gonna either grow with us or you gonna watch us grow. And when the thing about a group, guys, when a group grows, you either equally yoked with that group or you're not. Okay. It's like marriage. You know what I'm saying? You and your spouse are either equally yoked or y'all not. And when you're not, that's where you have the problems. Because you'll have people in the household, give you an example, on a micro level, 2 people is a whole lot easier to explain than thousands. So when you and your wife or you and your husband, you meet that person, y'all pretty much close, when it comes to being equally yoked. You're marrying the mirror at that point in time. You marrying what you want to marry. You're married on the same thought process, same philosophy. Y'all pretty much, for the most part, marrying that somebody on your level. But at some point in time, you got somebody who's plugged into a system, and that's a system is person developed centric, where that's what the focus is, evolution, growth, and everything else. And you don't invite your spouse into an environment like this where you have a Jackie when James is on and they listening to this together, where you have a Sabrina with Eddie on and they're listening to this, when you have, even what my wife, what I'm saying, and she's on, or when you have that, you have growth on both sides. Now, when you don't have that and you grow and they don't, now all of a sudden One day you wake up 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and now y'all fighting about the worst thing. And it's the thing that I don't know you anymore. Who are you? You know, you got all these big dreams. You forgotten who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you run all these highfalutin people talking about all this money, and all y'all want to take over the world. Or you don't. And like, but you think too small. You think you want to stay in this house. You want to, see, you don't want nothing big. You don't want to travel. You don't want to get out of Houston. You know what I'm saying? You got the same friends. You got now all y'all and all y'all fighting about, that separation. That's what the fight's about. Okay. One person feels like they're being left, the other person feels like they're being held back. Right. And so when you look at the group and you have people who are in this group, when this group starts to grow, you have the same thing. So that's why you have people who, when it comes to natural attrition, that fall off and quit because their classmates have grown on to do great things. And you are a high school dropout in this scenario from a, from just putting it on the same level, paralleling that you have people who graduated, went on to do big things. First, the top 5 in their class in college, they came out. You see them all over social media, billboards and stuff like that now. But you over here, you didn't even finish because whatever happened in your life, whatever distractions you had, they were more powerful and more important in your future. And so now you see them walking on the streets, or you see them at a store or something in passing, and you can't even recognize them, and vice versa. And you even embarrassed to talk to them. So it's like you quit because the group's growth is so big, and nobody see you growing. So now you're embarrassed, so embarrassed that you're willing to walk away from your future, not even try at that point. It's like you're willing to divorce your spouse based on them holding you back, or them feeling like you too good for them. Right? You gotta make sure, if you have a spouse, make sure your spouse is growing with you. Encourage them. Say, look, you ain't gotta do nothing in the business. Every once in a while, yeah, millionaire mentorship call. Hey, listen to it. When you have events, come to the event. Like when you have like we have an event in Houston. If you have a spouse, just like Jarek's spouse is always at the event, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So when you're at the events and whatever city you're in, make sure your spouse is there, because you want them to be in the environment around the people who you're around, so they can kind of see why you act and behave the way you act and behave. Why you so excited? Why you can't stop? Why you can't come to bed early no more? Why you out in the streets knocking on doors on Saturdays and Sundays? Why you in networking events? Why you got to spend this month, this $19.99 for this little quick course, or this $99.99 for this little quick whatever it is? Bring them around, because when what happens is this is where the magic kicks in. The more you bring them around, the more it starts to wear on them. The more it starts to wear on them, the more they start to enroll themselves. Right? I've seen people who were against everything that we did, and all of a sudden they start coming to the events, and all of a sudden they become the biggest builder in that household. They take over the business, right? And they now all of a sudden you get confused because you don't know who you recruited. You know what I'm saying? So and that's the magic, but that's the same thing. Imagine recruiting your spouse, right, into, not necessarily building the business, but into the business where they'll support you. When that happens, your business grows exponentially 50 to 70%, because you got somebody on board supporting you, endorsing you, encouraging you, and putting you in a position where they're not going to let you fail, because they're going to help you one way, shape, form, or fashion. Right? So be a contributor in this environment, because you never know what your testimony is going to do for somebody. And I appreciate you, Coach, for that word, because that was a word. It really is. And got a lot of professionals on here who felt the same way. Del Boudreaux felt the same way. He get that story a lot, you know what I'm saying, on a regular basis. And so, yeah, that's when you have people who are successful, people who are, adults and have their own lane, and have the ability to say, hey, I really don't need this. I'm good where I'm at. When they hear people like you say things like that, it's like a light bulb for people. So I appreciate you being transparent. I appreciate you sharing. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, so what we're gonna do here is just have a little conversation, because the one thing about this today's conversation, please, is the evolution. And so for me, it's like, and also the vision. The when you look at the reason why that presentation continues to get better and it continues to evolve is because I won't leave it alone, right? And so to the point to where, like, I think about it so much, and I build on it so much to where y'all don't even know this. In my Canva department, in my Canva office, and on me, my VA on me calls it calls it Collaborate Universe. So I got about 6 or 7 presentations in Collaborate Universe that I'm actually working on. One for taxation, one for real estate, you know what I'm saying, one for network marketers, one for business people and professionals. And it's just like one for insurance. And so it's like when we have a presentation and you need a presentation for a specific, dynamic or arena, that's not so general, it'll be that. So, but that's the goal. It's like, now let me get this main one down first. So now let me see what we need. I needed this slide now, but I need to put some things on this slide and take some things off that's not as impactful or as important. And let me go ahead and add this slide because we need people to see this. Well, let me go. As a matter of fact, anybody pay attention to the subscription slide on from yesterday? Anybody notice anything different on the subscription slide? Okay, and so it basically yesterday what I did was like, you know what? When you have 2 teams, right? Everybody automatically assumes network marketing. It's automatically a trigger. Automatically a trigger, right? And so, oh my God, residual income, subscription, 2 sales teams, they want me to recruit. So now I'm like, okay, so let's look at perception versus perspective. So I know how powerful the business is. That's my perception. I know how crazy you'll be if you don't join this company based on if you're a real estate agent and you're an insurance person or whatever. I get that part, but what I have to put in perspective is the other person's perception, right? And so if a trigger word, right, or a part of that actual presentation is keeping people out of your business, then you should fix it. Okay. And so how do you fix it? You go back and you think about the emotion that you would have or that they would have based on that trigger. And if they're void of that emotion, they can't that they void of that trigger, they can't have that emotion. So let me go ahead and say, okay, instead of sales one, sales team sales one and sales team two, and all this other stuff that we have to explain around. I say, you know what? Okay, what we'll do here is subscription acquisitions, and acquisition tiers, how much money you can make in them tiers residually, and some matching bonuses. This ain't it didn't say anything about recruiting. I just said, hey, look, and the reason why I did it that way is when a person says, okay, all right, subscription tiers, acquisition tiers, acquisition tiers. That's cool. Okay, and how much money when you get to a certain amount of subscriptions do you get per month? Oh, okay, and the matching bonuses on this. Okay, so I took the 2 sales teams out, and so now you just see sales tiers, what you get paid at those tiers, and matching bonuses on the other side. Didn't say anything about recruiting. I don't want people to even think you have, because even though you say in that conversation and in that presentation in the very beginning, a person can make a 6 or multiple 6-figure income on a part-time basis without recruiting. When they see 2 sales teams, they see what? Recruiting. And what happened? They forget everything that they saw. That last 35 minutes that was so beautiful that had them salivating, all of a sudden you ruin their appetite. Oh, like, oh man, I knew she wasn't perfect. Oh my God. Oh. So you know how it is, man. You're like, oh, she perfect. And then you wake up next to her like, oh no, oh my God. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Oh my God, he was handsome. Oh my God, he swept me off my feet. And oh my God, after the first date, oh, that it is. I knew it was too good to be true. Oh my God. I gotta tell my mom I can't bring him over next week. My mom loves it, but can't bring him back. That's what you take people through. So you gotta at every turn, you gotta address every objection in your conversation. Okay. So if you're having a presentation, you got to address the objections in your presentation. If you're having a conversation, you got to address the objections in your conversation. Right. You got to hit them off at the pass, as they said back in the good old days, right? You got to hit them off at the pass. Okay. So if I know that this is one of the most powerful parts of the presentation, I can't take it out. I can, yeah, I can, and I've done it before. Now, so, but is if it's a way where you can continue to add more value on there for somebody like a coach who is building a network, who's building a subscription-based business already, right? And he's looking at this saying, okay, no, I needed to see that. No, I needed to see the subscription-based business because that's aligned with my plans. Because we talked about it yesterday. When I talk about subscription-based, part of it is how I crowdfund my projects, right? That's my security. That's my stability. That's my protection against the government. That's my hedge against COVID and stuff like that. The subscriptions are my everything, right? And that's why you see that part of my conversation evolve as well, letting people know that people who don't have subscriptions now wish they had. People who don't have residual income, who the 100,000 people who lost their jobs, if they knew about residual income, I know they wish they had some now. Think about it. It's better to have a job and have residual income than have no job and have no residual income. You don't have any breathing room when you don't have income, passive residual income coming in. You are not insulating your household from bad things that'll happen out of your control. So for me, I know that a person can't insulate their household and use this as a resource if I'm in their way. So the presentation can't just be good enough. The verbiage can't just be good enough. It has to be set up to where the least sophisticated presenter comes in here and point and read and get the results. It's not about how I articulate. What should inspire you, though, is how I articulate, because I couldn't speak. For those who've been with me a long time, and you heard me in my early days, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and some of y'all have been around that long. Okay. You knew that when you heard me speak, it was like, what did he say? Ask Dale. Dale will tell you. Dale, come off real quick because they think I'm playing. Some of them, they hear what they heard. They don't know what they know. Dale, tell them what I used to sound like, bro. Just go ahead and be
So,
honest.
yes, sir.
Okay.
So the ongoing Mr. Bean would have call, and at the end of the call, we would call each other and say, "Hey, like right in this part, what did he say?" And he was mumbling, right? So, I mean, Mr. Bean, he's absolutely correct in what he's saying, because there was 30-minute conversations after the call to try to figure out and piece together what he was saying. And, watching you evolve, Mr. Bean, I'm telling you, it's every day. It's what makes all this engine go, because you talked about the lid at the beginning, but man, you're absolutely right. Nobody could understand him. You could be standing in the front of him and couldn't understand him.
Exactly.
But you know what? He never stopped pouring into you. Even though you couldn't understand him, you were picking up tidbits while you were sitting there, and you was picking up the emotion, and you was picking up the fire. And I mean, he evolved to the point now we definitely understand you now, Mr. Bean. That's a fact. We couldn't understand him.
Yeah, I'm just telling you guys, you got to roll up your sleeve and let people see your scars. Stop, trying to be perfect and stop trying to make people think you are. You got to go out there and let people know that they can win where they are. Like, I have a friend, his name is Nate, and he's funny. Nate, he a joker, and he called me Bean Enterprises. And when he called me, this is what he say. I say, hello. He said, see what I'm saying? Because that's what I used to say all the time. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Understand what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So that's what his thing was. So he called me. He don't say hello. I say, hello. He say, see what I'm saying? Bean Enterprises. What's up, Bean Enterprises? See what I'm saying? And so that's how, again, I'm telling y'all, I'm here to give y'all hope. I made millions I'm telling you, people knew my heart though, right? People knew my heart, and they knew for a fact that I learned enough to be dangerous. And if they can stand there long enough and piece it together, they might get something out of it. Right. And so that's probably why, people like that, when you fight to get the information, you fight to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? That means you have to put more work in than everybody else. So, hey, that's what it is. Right. But I go back to say this right now, that you can't be the disconnection. You can't be the reason for their treason. You got to be the reason for their season. You got to be person. You know what? I get you. I understand you. I understand, your perspective. And so I'm coming to your side of the table. And that's what those presentations do. I know that right now, me, how I'm wired. I'm not and y'all know this. Me and the company, we fought this from day one. I'm not a network marketer. I'm not in network marketing. I didn't come out of retirement to do network marketing. I came out of retirement to do business. And so either we're gonna do business exactly alike, or I'm gonna do business and we're gonna still get along because I'm gonna build this city, right? In this state here, and I'm gonna be the capital. Just know this, but we're gonna build and my whole entire branding. You have people who like Earl. Earl has a lady who came on for roofing, and she came on for roofing, and she got on the calls and everything else, and then she turned around and said, "Earl, why you didn't tell me this network marketing?" I said, "No, this is business. Network marketing is a category." So that's just a category. This is business. You got started in roofing. Focus on roofing. Because the test is something that's got a subscription doesn't mean that it's network marketing, don't mean it's bad. Focus on and that's the people get distracted. Again, people have triggers. So at that time, it was too late. She was already already heard everything that she wanted to hear. Now she was able to focus again because he got her back on track. Okay. That's the thing. You're not manipulating anybody. You're not lying to anybody. You're just protecting them from themselves. You understand what I'm saying? So get a person in a position where they consume all of the information that they need. Let them make a decision. And once they make that decision, you make their decision work. Okay. So that's the thing. So now everything we do again is about business. So now if everything we do is about business, I'm looking at this presentation. I'm saying, okay, so I can focus on this area, this lane, and now everything starts to grow off of it. The ecosystem starts to grow. And I'm talking to a lady, and y'all have heard me say that the story, the tax preparer, the tax strategist rather, 17,000 customers, 8 agencies, right? And she took the network marketing model, and that's how she created, that infrastructure. That's how she created that setup. She's not a network marketing company. She took the model and built off of that model, and she expanded her. She went from a couple of agents and a couple of clients to that what she has access to. So I'm like, I'm having a conversation with her, and because my mind is so wrapped around this conversation and business. And I've been through a lot of the tax courses and not tax courses, credit classes and business classes and experiences that when we start talking, I'm now telling her, hey, this is how we're going to blueprint. We're building out her taxation business model as we're on the phone, having through conversation. And I'm writing it down on a napkin. Like I'm over here writing this stuff down, And I went back and typed everything up into it. Now I'm building that taxation collaboration, presentation. Yeah, I like the flow. Taxation, collaboration, presentation. So I'm building that out for her, right? But everybody else gets to participate in it. Everybody else gets to use it. Now it becomes a thing. It becomes a space. It becomes a lane, right? Just like insurance. So, okay. So what is about your collaboration that you can use how would you introduce this to somebody in insurance? Well, and I'll come back to taxation because that's one of the things that we're going to hit on before I get off of here. That's real big. But insurance, you just start looking at the industries. Well, I know with insurance, one, they love residuals because they thrive on renewals. They want the policies, get the policies on the books, right? So you get the pay, but the renewal is the thing. That's the security and stability for insurance agents, right? Now, that's something we have in common, right? So now what else? Well, when you look at insurance, you have to be licensed. You have to take classes. You have to pass exams. You got to get certified. There are things that you have to do that are mandated by law that you can't get around. There are things that you can't have. You can't have criminal records. Some insurance companies require you to go through credit background checks, and you don't qualify. But you, as an insurance broker, you ran all these ads, okay, to find agents, and so now you're looking at, man, I'm turning down 75% of the agents or 90% of the agents that come through my office because they don't qualify. But these are resources that I can now use and say, you know what? They want to make money in sales, but they can't in insurance. So let me put them over here in my collaboration portfolio. Right? So now it's kind of like when you look at Rockefeller back in the day, and they were doing the kerosene. Okay, when I told y'all about the men who built America, and they took the waste, because most people don't understand what gasoline came from. It wasn't just laying on the ground. It was the waste. It was the bad part of kerosene. It was the runoff, the stuff that they didn't know what to do with. And you see what gasoline has become today, right? Yeah, like you said, they set the rivers. They put it out there and they burn the river, burn it up in the river. You know, and so that was their disposal waste disposal method, right? Yeah, and so when you look at insurance agents and they do all this marketing and advertising, they got all these people that they have to turn away. Why turn them away? Okay, why not take them to another part of your business, the collaboration part of your business? Now they get a chance to pick on anything to sell. They don't need any certifications. They ain't nobody looking at their background. Don't care, right? We don't care about your credit. We do, but we don't. Not in that aspect. We want to make sure you get good credit, but we don't care about your credit rating as it stands today. If you have a desire to go out here and make things happen, we got a place for you, right? But guys, I'm telling you, it's a lot easier. Okay, a lot easier to come on board as a person who's looking for a new career to come on board with us than it is to be an insurance agent. And there's, again, when you become an insurance agent, you're going to be focused on nothing but learning insurance, and you're going to have to grow in that space. And you got to grow your book of business in that space. You got to grow everything about you're going to have to get to work. So when I'm talking to insurance agents, I'm letting them know, hey, look, I got this over here for you. Whoever you can't use, send them to me, right? And guess what? 100% of your clients, they either own a house or know somebody who has a house. Okay, so insurance people, again, they're professional that people trust. So now you put them in the collaboration. Now you have something to sell, and you have a place to send all the people who can't qualify, to be an insurance agent. So now when you look at these other industries that you just lump them in, when you talk about the home essentials arena, guys, that conversation has got to continue to evolve. Let everybody know, one, it's not just about roofers. It's not just about people who are realtors. It's not just it is about the landscaper, right? Because guess what Jeremy does for a living? Landscaping, right? It is about the electrician. It is about the plumber. It is about the pool guy, right? Like my I'm looking at this truck right now. My neighbor across the street, he cleans out dryer ducts for, like, wash and dry. He goes around, he goes to houses, clean out dryer ducts. He's in a house, right, on a regular basis. So yesterday I sent him the collaboration presentation. Okay. And so yeah, I'm not. You can't be my neighbor and live in a house, one, and then and do stuff around houses, and I not expose you. I'm not waiting for Dale to come knock on your door as a door knocker and offer you what I already offer you. That's what we do. And that's the other thing. Just side note: tell everybody in your family about what we do, and don't care anything about what they say. Take the emotion out, because right now you have people who are knocking on them doors, and they're gonna knock on your mother's door, they're gonna knock on your daddy's door, they're gonna knock on your cousin's door, sister's, brother's door. They're gonna knock on all those doors and pitch them the same exact thing that you have, right? Except they don't care about your family members. They're gonna take advantage of them. You wouldn't, okay? So make sure that they know what that you have, that you serve, and that you and then when somebody knocks on their door, they say, "Oh yeah, no, my Freddie does that. My brother Freddie does that. No, my sister Laura does that. No, we're good." And then guess what happens? Freddie calls you. You call Freddie back, or you call Laura back, or you call Sekou back, because now somebody had to come knock on your door to wake you up, knock on their door to wake them up. And so now you get that phone call saying, "Hey, somebody hit me up," right? So before they knock on your people's doors, make sure you're making those phone calls. Make sure you're sending them the collaboration video just to show them what what you offer. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even got to be in the business. Just let them know, hey, look, show them something, right? But going back to it, guys, when you look at the conversation, you got to ask yourself, when it comes to the people I'm going to be talking to, like when you're out there moving around and networking events, let me say that, networking events, when you're having a person, the person asks you what you do for a living, and and then you ask them what they do for a living, you want to make sure that you can take what they do for a living and you can marry this business to it. You want to make sure, like, when it comes to, a financial advisors, guys, again, you have a portal that we're building out right now of a lot of offerings, okay? A lot of things that people, quite frankly, pay good money for, especially when it's well marketed and advertised, right? And so when you look at that and then marrying it to the future money, Web3, all the stuff that we have that, when it comes to the financial education stuff and fintech and, DePIN, DeFi, AI, all that stuff. And on the upgraded package, you're putting all this stuff together and you're adding all this stuff into one, stop shopping, and you're talking to a financial advisor or a tax person or somebody like that, that gives them value because they don't have to do that much work. And if it's not a threat, a real threat, guys, it's a really good residual situation going on, because your customers, most customers, guys, unless you really know them, you have a relationship with them, they're not that loyal. Even when you know them and you have a relationship, they still look around, they still shop around, they still make phone calls, right? Without you being there. That's just human nature. People are curious and nosy and not loyal when it comes to, they want you to be loyal to them, but not you. They don't have to be loyal to you, right? So I fix loyalty. So when I'm talking to entrepreneurs, same thing. Hey, look, they work for you today, but they may not work for you tomorrow. So when you fire them or they quit or whatever, and they still doing collaboration, you still gonna make money. Think about how many employers, if somebody was a part of a collaboration network in their group and they fired hundreds of people, that they still get paid from hundreds of people that they fired, or that people who moved on, or people who quit. That's why I was telling the roofer yesterday, hey, you have seven, salespeople. You put those seven salespeople in a position where they can go out there and sell more stuff and offer more stuff, right? As a suite of businesses. Now, if anything was to ever happen and they're making real good money, if they're making real good money, the chances of them leaving, if they haven't left now, the chances of them leaving greatly diminish. So your retention, it really does help your retention by helping people make more money. And the raise you gave them didn't come from your bottom line on your traditional business. The raise you gave them came from having access to, this company, right? And so if anything was to ever leave and they were doing well, okay, you still override everything they do going forward. So now, as an ex-employer, you're still earning revenue, generating revenue off of people who no longer work under your, in your traditional company's brick and mortar, office. So that's how, when it comes to it, guys, I'm always thinking. So when it came to taxation, let me pull this up real quick here, kind of. There we go. And so when it came to the taxation situation, and this is why you want to make sure, especially at this day and at this moment right now, everybody's coming to the end of tax season. They got some spillover, some late people, some people who want extensions and all this other stuff, so they got a little fallout, not a lot, but taxes is on their mind. But guess what? Taxes is also on their clients' minds as well. So when you look at tax access, so what's the number one reason people come to you? For tax deductions and write-offs, right? Yeah, that's what they asked for. Yeah, okay, great. So the problem was, and I told myself, the problem is this: you had a lot of smart people who are tax strategists who told people, well, just open up a network marketing company, get your business, pay your authorship, and we can write it off because it shows that you have an intent to do business. Whether you make money, a profit or not, it shows the intent, right? And so we can write everything off. It's like strategy in the box. And she's like, okay. I said, but this is the problem. Follow me, continue to follow me here. People don't necessarily like the business, that they sign up for the business because it's a tax strategy, right? And you get the residual income for a little while until they realize I don't want to be on it anymore. So they look at the fact that they don't like the marriage of the business that they in, that they don't have to work so where they can get that extra money, they're still willing to quit that business at some point in time just because they don't like it and pay more taxes. I said, so we have a solution for that. I said, because now, because remember, it's about the word entrepreneur is what? The person who can solve a problem. So now we have a solution for that. Now we have a company. And when I told about that, I said, now you have a company, okay, here where your clients are now not just buying money, looking at $1,200 a year. They're not just buying back 50% of what the government says they owe. So you make 100,000, say the government takes 37,000 from you. That $1,200, a year, $100 a month, gets you back 18,000. So they're buying money at this point in time with the business. Right? They're not just doing that now. Okay. What they're doing now is they're putting themselves in a position where, one, if they refer 4 people, they don't even have to have a $99 to still have a business per month. So now they're running a free business and getting that money back. Okay. So that's a strategy in the box. So now the other thing is this. When it comes to them being in the system, anything that they buy, they keep the commission on. Okay, so we have a suite. So this is a smart business for them because now they have homes. Most of your clients have, you're a strategist. Most of your clients earn 250, to $1 million, no less than 250 on average, and ranging at the top about $1 million. So they all have houses for the most part. So now when they buy something from themselves for their house, okay, they keep the commission. They don't get a referral. They keep the commission. So if they buy solar, they keep the commission. And guess what else you do? You help them get the tax write-off, right? They buy water. It's the same thing they buy. I said, now you also got to think about it is they have the Smart Money Club. So now all your clients get access to that. So they become more and more enthralled with the information. You become smarter. You have smarter, wiser, clients and customers, and they appreciate you for it. Smart Money Club. So now that's another dynamic that you add to the fold. Now you have also the travel aspect of it. Okay. So all your people who make all that money, all of them travel for business and for pleasure. I said, so guess what? You're writing off all their travel. You should make sure that they travel more. So guess what? When they travel at a deep discount, you write every one of those trips off for business. Plus, guess what they get by doing your strategy? They get a free vacation every year, 4 or 5 star vacation, where it literally averages on cost $1,500 to $5,000. It's valued at $1,500 to $5,000 for that year that they get for free every year on their anniversary. So this business in a box, that you have for them is undeniable. You can put 100% of the people who don't have legitimate tax write-offs in your business, and they're looking at it as a membership, not something that they have to build. And oh, by the way, if they just wake up one morning and say, "Hey, is this some money in this? Some money attached to this?" You say, "Of course it is." And then you organically grab a builder, right? But now because of that conversation, she's basically getting started this weekend. We have a presentation set up for her cabinet, on Thursday night. And then we have a full out lunch for her customers and her database on Sunday, right? So she's fired up. And I told one of the consultants, Heather, who I did a presentation for on Thursday night, she consults for other taxation experts, right? And so she said, I got a lot of tax clients. And so would you do one of those presentations for me? So it's crazy because when it comes to Dusty, I built this around Dusty, but now on Tuesday at 11:30, I'm doing a presentation for Heather, and it's a taxation only presentation, and I'm doing it before I do it for Dusty, who I created it for, right? And so now I'm creating a whole nother lane of people. I put that post on Facebook about people, if you're not making $500,000 to $1 million and a year in your tax businesses, it's not that you're doing something wrong, it's that you're missing something. I'm what you're missing. And so I got hit on that a couple of times, right? And so again, people are looking, because that you have people who are looking at that saying, I make $250,000 a year in taxes, and what do you got that's going to help me make $500,000 to $1 million? What am I missing, right? And the fact that you don't have that answer means that you need to call me. and figure it out, right? So that's how yeah, FOMO. That's what I'm creating. And so, and now, but I'm also speaking to tax people. I'm letting them know, hey, look, the reason you're not at this level, there are a couple of reasons why you're not at that level. One, you improperly identify yourself, as a whatever it is that you do right now, and you need to become a business person, more of a business person. You need to now expand your thinking, and I go through that expanded thought process on who you are, how big you can be as an entity, as opposed to what, because it's also Gage put me on a line with a young lady out of Atlanta. She has 500 clients. She's just finished her tax season. We had that conversation. I mean, her and Gage are going to get back on the phone again sometime next week. Okay, and so again, these are things and avenues that I'm opening up, but I'm creating lanes for y'all to get more and more creative with your people. Now you're thinking about who I know that does taxes, right? And so now all these tax people are coming out of the work directly and indirectly, right? So all of y'all do taxes, I hope, right? I mean, get them done. I hope. Yeah, I'm just saying, make sure you don't play with the I, the R, the S. You know what I'm saying? Only people who can play with them is Donald. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, we not Donald. We don't have that type of power. So pay them people. But whoever is helping you with the tax situation that you're in and that do your taxes, make sure these people know what you have your hands on. But I'm letting people know, hey, look, you either don't have any subscriptions, as a tax person, you don't have any multiple streams of income as a tax person, right? I'm like, you don't. The system may be flawed or antiquated. You might be still operating off of how they did business 10, 15, 20 years ago, and so you need options. You need a spin. You need the separation, that from other tax preparation people, right? We're what you need. We are what you need. And so that's a whole entirely different conversation. That's a whole entirely different focus. Right now, people just paid taxes, just got their taxes done, or just did the taxes for somebody. It's all fresh on their head. You're showing people now, I'm giving you a way that you can get tax write-offs without borrowing your niece, your nephew, or your neighbor's child. Some of y'all will get that in the car. There you go. There we go. I knew it kick in. Yeah, that part. So I'm helping them see themselves in a greater light, right? With my conversation and my presentation. You people start to see themselves as who you tell them they are, right? That's why I call people superstar. I call people superstar even if they don't think they are, because it's an affirmation, right? And you telling people, hey, look, let me show you, because your business and you are are underperforming. And we can show you how to take the lid off this thing. That's why I said on the end of the presentation, why would you do business with me? Grant Cardone, right? Why would you do business with me? Not what you like most of us. We got that out the way. Okay. But what would it be that if everything was the end of the day, you sit up this, and what would you resent? What would you regret the most if it didn't happen because you didn't do business with me? Why would you do business with me? Okay. But I do business with you because I don't have multiple streams of income. But I would do business with you because I only offer one thing right now, and that industry is slow. Well, I would do business with you because it's and that them at that point in time they're selling themselves to you. They're telling you why they would do business with you. They're letting you know this is where you lay your hat. This is where you hang your hat at. So if you ever ask your person, you've watched the presentation, right? Why would you do business with me? Because they'll tell you quick, fast, in a hurry why they wouldn't. But why would you? Talk to me. And so, again, I want you guys to be in that mindset. You should always be thinking how to use this platform to solve a problem. If a person's a roofer, a landscaper, they do anything in and around a house, you should be able to have a conversation on what we have, and also I was talking to Gaze the other day. He said, "What do you say, in this, that?" And I said, "Well, just say the presentation, guys. The presentation is a conversation. I have given you the full entire conversation to have with a person in length, in detail, right? So when you talk about scripts, that presentation is a script. That presentation is a conversation. So, when you're having a conversation about value, and putting people like I'm starting to do stuff, real uncomfortable stuff. Like I'll have voicemails that I leave on people's like, I'll get into real estate groups and stuff like that, roofing groups and stuff, because what happens is now the people they suggest for you to be friend with, then they start popping up. So now I got a lot of real estate agents popping up, as suggestions, and I'm like, hey, friending some of them, or I'm sending voicemails to some of them, and I'm looking at their pages, congratulating them on their success, telling them I'm loving their story and how they've grown, and hey, this is what I do for realtors, and I would love to see if we can have a conversation to see if there's a collaboration opportunity here, and see if I can add value to what you're doing right now, help you expand your territory or whatever it is, whatever I'm feeling at that moment. I say on that voicemail. Voicemails are more personal, okay, than just text messages. They read text messages from people all the time. When you get on there, like Philip say, and then you go through your conversation, you go through your process of leaving that message. That's personal, right? And so people, they appreciate that a little bit more. I'll listen to a whole voicemail clip that a person will send me that's trying to prospect me on Facebook or something like that, just because they took the time out. And I'm learning also by what they're saying. So I would never say that. No, you know what? I need to use that. Let me. So you don't have to always hang up right away. I pull over at the car wash yesterday before I went to the event, and the guy said, "Hey," and he stopped me. He walked up to the car, and he had a little pad and everything, and he gave me his spiel, and it spilled, and it was about 3 minutes long, and and I'm sitting there, and I'm listening to the whole entire thing, and I said, I appreciate the offer. I said, I'm good. I'm not going to take that. I said, but um, I sat here because I love your energy. Okay. I said, if I knew that you were doing something that or saying something that was going to cost you some deals, would you want me to tell you? And so he said, yeah. So I gave him a little bit of help on his pitch, right? And he was appreciative of it. You know what I'm saying? So he got something better than a sign up, right? And he got more signups, basically, because at the end of the day, what the little information I gave him that he's going to tweak is going to help him get more people to upgrade, help him get more people to sign up, right? And I added value to him, but I'm also practicing, while I'm moving around. I'm always looking for look for opportunities to help somebody and add value in somebody's life. I can go to that car wash a lot, so at some point in time, he may now become a part of my business. But I have to add value, to his life first. I had to make sure that I get the right to do business, earn the right to do business with him, rather, by adding value to his business first. Here's what he do first. Okay. So but industries, anybody got an industry or something before we wrap up that you're exposed to a lot that you might want to an approach when using the collaboration approach to, and I can kind of maybe give you guys some bullet points on some of those things.
So I work in higher education,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm exposed to a lot of different types of people. And there are a number of people in my industry and on my campus who are retiring.
Mhm.
What is your best recommendation to reach them in a way that meets their needs? Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
You can use a couple. You're welcome. You can use a couple things. One, the one thing about that I know about retirees, so you have three different types of retirees. You got people who retire and just want to be left alone. Period. Right. You got people who retire, they want to travel, and you got people who retire, and they want to retire and go into money, and they got like do some things that can make them some money, but they don't want it to be like work, right? And so you can show a person, hey, there's life after retirement. What are you going to ask? And this other thing, ask questions. What are you planning on doing after retirement with your time? And just listen. Are you planning on traveling? I'll give some like what are you planning on doing after your retirement? Are you planning on traveling, doing a lot of traveling? Are you planning on, picking up another trade or investing? Or are you just what are you planning on doing? Okay. And so they have a plan. They've been thinking about this for the longest, right? They can tell you exactly what they plan on doing, right? Dr. Arlene just told you what she plans on doing. You know what I mean? So if she knows what she's planning on doing, they know. They're retiring for a reason. They're walking away from the bag for a reason. Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna travel. Okay, you know what? If you ever consider starting a travel club for retirees or anything like that, or a travel club, and make your money and be able to enjoy life while you're making more money and making sure that you make more money on your new passion traveling than you do on your retirement check, and just it's you finding a way. This is going to be a plug and profit situation. Now you're plugging travel into your life and you're profited by doing so. You retire. You should enjoy your retirement. Think about how many other people would like to retire like you, Carla. They see you, you got your retirement party. They saw everything on Facebook. They saw everybody come in with all the balloons. They saw everybody, at the potluck and celebrating you and your accomplishments. And then you're going away. And then a week later, they see you over here in Aruba. They see you over here in Cancun. They see you over here in Jamaica. They see you over here in Africa. They're asking you, man. They're looking at you saying this woman has a great life. And but now you start telling everybody, oh yeah, my retirement, I'm traveling everywhere. I got a travel club, I get discounts, and so anybody who's retired and you want to be a part of the travel club, okay, reach out to me, inbox me. Anybody who's retired and you want to travel and make money for traveling, while you're retired, inbox me. Anybody, and you just now, what I'm saying? You start to do that, go down that lane. If they're saying, you know what, I want to do some investing and stuff like that. So you know what? Let me share with you something. I got a program that a lot of people are using, and there are financial advisors in there. There are people who show you how to take insurance and make money off of it, get loans from it, build a business around it, become your own bank around it. They have different types of things that you can do from home, that you can learn at Blockchain Academy, or Build Academy with blockchain stuff, in fintech stuff, DeFi stuff, the money of the future, and you can sit there or learn how to forex trade, depending on what color of personality you're talking to, right? And so you just take the company, you look at one of these things. Don't talk about, get away from talking about how much stuff we offer, and talk about the specific stuff that we offer that caters to them and what they want to do. Because everybody with this Amazon, the big picture, talking about 100%, trying to explain 100%. No, 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 no. If you notice, my presentation with Ken's people was different than the presentations prior to Ken's people, because Ken wanted everybody to know a little bit more about the services, right? So I added a little bit more information about the service. And I didn't just hit, this is what we do, this is how much you make, this is what we do, how much you make. And so that was specific to Ken and what he wanted for his people, his audience, right? And so you always cater to the person who you're working with, the person who you're pitching, the person who you're serving. You always cater to them. So you go off their answer and you use, so, okay, well, she said she's going to be traveling. Okay, so I definitely got to travel. We got curated trips. We got a free annual vacation. We got discounted hotels and resorts. We also have other things that people can, take part in. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk to her about, right? And that's how I think about the presentation as well. So, and when it comes to categories, if I'm talking to a category, that's how I set up the presentation and the conversation. Appreciate you, Carl. Anybody else?
Mr. Bean, thank you so much for that, because I'm constantly teaching people how to tailor their resumes to meet the needs of the employer. And I'm taking that lesson that you just shot back at me in my own words to tailor my conversation to what it is that they want and need. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, don't be no hypocrite. Nah. Hey, no, hey, take your own advice. You hear me, Carla? No. That's all good.
Well, that circles back to what Jeremy said earlier, right? In terms of expansive thinking. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And another thing is, like, when you look at that word ego, then I go back to what Coach was saying earlier, sometimes you have to give people a conscious interrupt. And so when you see ego, you hear what people say. The first thing they say is edging God out, right? And so for me, is edging goals out. And we're talking about business, separation of church and state. Talk about business, edging goals out. Okay, and so, and I talk about people who make way more money than everybody on this Zoom. And I say that, hey, these people had way more. They make way more money than us. They when it comes to these brands, they all are $1 billion brands. They make way more money than us, and they can stand on their own. They can literally make a fortune, continue to make a fortune on their own. But they chose to go out there and expand their territories, they expand their markets, expand their customer bases by partnering, collaborating with these new people that they don't have access to, right? But the collaboration makes it possible. Now you illuminate your brand even more. Now you got people talking about you because I never seen anything like, Taco Bell and Pizza Hut being in the same building, or Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken being in the same building, or whatever it is, or AT&T. Why is AT&T and this cell phone company, and why is this? They supposed to be enemies, right? Y'all treat, people treat business like it's a sport, like like, no, Versace and Fendi not supposed to be together. Who says they're not supposed to be together, right? Who says that Spotify is not supposed to partner with Uber or Starbucks? Who again? Why does it take a corporation to have to do something first before you do it first? Before you give it credibility or credence, right? The collaborations is going on for a long time, and y'all don't even call it collaborations. Y'all just thought it was cute. And I'm gonna tell you what the collaboration I'm talking about. How many of you have pulled up to a gas station that's now attached to an actual restaurant? You got a Kentucky Fried Chicken on it, or you got a Church's on it, or you got a French's on it, you got a McDonald's on the gas station. They rebuilt the whole entire structure of the gas station to add a restaurant on top of it. A Dunkin' Donuts on the Krispy Kreme donut. It's all one gas station, but it's got the restaurant attached to it. The truck stop gas. That's collaboration. You can walk from the gas station side to the restaurant side, one stop shopping, right? You got to look at what's going on around you and how things are evolving around you, right? And stop just existing amongst this stuff. This is so much evidence around you that if you just thought about it, sit back and reflect and stop moving so fast one day. It's okay. Collaboration. What are evidence and examples of collaborations around me and what I do? Convenience. Exactly. Exactly, Marvin. Convenience. It's so look at that and go off that. Now you're in the mind of the people who are doing the shopping. That's what it's about. Now with Amazon made it convenience. Like I said, I was telling somebody the other day, when you talk about the 240 million subscriptions they have, you buy a subscription, and a subscription is customer service. It's not a product. People pay for that subscription every year because of customer service. You not a new radio or not a new iPad, new walk, whatever. It's customer service. They're paying for customer service, and you still got to go buy it. What you gonna buy? But the membership is for customer service. You want first class customer service. You want stuff to be shipped today, not another day. Right? You want to be able to have access to drop spots. You want to have this, that, and other. If you're not a Prime member, they make sure you feel the pain if you're not a Prime member. Mm-hmm. You see Prime today versus 3 days from now. It's just 3 days. They done messed y'all up. They done got y'all so addicted to today and tonight. You know what I'm saying? If you order now before 2 o'clock, you'll get it the night before 7. They got you. They figured it out, right? They went from their perception to your perspective, and now I'm telling you, you have to figure it out. Look, Kathy laughing, everybody, but y'all know what it is, right? We have 2 memberships in my household, my wife and mine. She was like, no, you need to go ahead and cut that membership off. We don't need 2. I was like, no, you want control. You're not gonna control me. You're not the boss of me. I want my own. I want to pay for my own subscription. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Amazon is saying, yeah, we got them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they got me. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with it. I know what I was purchasing. I'm purchasing power. I'm purchasing independence. They ain't selling me no customer service. My wife is not the boss of me. I'm on my own account. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure it out, though. I figured it out. I need you to figure it out. I need you to be able to think without me. I need you to be able to bring something to the table and find an industry or something that you can collaborate with and create a lane with, right? And be able to teach that, train that, and go out there and like Vic. Where I'm not going to say it. Where does Vic hang out the most at? Where does Solar Vic hang out the most at?
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
Oh my God. Look, everybody know where Vic hang out at, right? So y'all, because he created a lane, right? He created a lane. I didn't have to tell you, y'all know. Create a lane, create something, do something special. Go out there and go out here and bring something to the table of extreme value, right? That you can train. Because when you can train on it, and you like Sarah and Dan, they are evolving. They took the training, that they got, from Landon, and they're now evolving it, right? And they're evolving it. They're evolving it. They're evolving it, and they're growing it. And the more and more they're evolving it, the better that they're getting at it. The better they're getting at it, the easier it is for mom to close. The easier for it is for mom to close, the bigger the story that they all get. The bigger the story that they all get, the more credibility that they actually have, right? And so now all of the when those things start hitting and start training, all of a sudden when they start training the lead generation program, you'll have people who are going to show up because now all of a sudden lead generation didn't work for me in the past, but it'll work for me now because they got this thing humming, right? It's a lane. So find your lane, guys. We found ours as a group, but find yours like Kathy did. Find yours, like Dr. Arlene did. Find yours like Vic did. Find your lane like some of the people are coming in here with the lane. Okay, like my tax people, like Coach with money, like Ken with solar and blockchain stuff. Find your lane or recruit people who have a lane. Help them identify their lane so you can make it real easy for them to build. Okay, no play on words. So I'll take these last two and then we're gonna bounce. James and then Laura.
Hey, great
But
topic, man.
let me do this. Let me do this. Laura, then James. We're gonna let the ladies go first as always.
Well, thank you for that, Mr. Bean. So in terms of industries, I don't know if people consider this an industry, but I'm down here in South Carolina, smack dab in the middle of the Bible Belt. So what do you think about presentations to religious influencers like pastors, deacons, usher board members? What's a good approach for
Okay.
those individuals?
Okay. So and it's like one of those things when you look at um, money, you got to figure out one in that church. What is the church's ministry? First of all, you have people who have church may have a medical ministry, church may have a music ministry, church may have a business, a financial ministry. Churches have different ministries. Find out what ministries that church has first of all, because that may be an instant plug. Okay, and then when it comes to the community, okay, there may be a need in the community. So if there's a lack of financial education and financial empowerment, or you see the community has lost a lot of jobs due to the economy or whatever it is, then you can create a ministry. Okay. So if they don't have an entrepreneur ministry, you can help them create one. Okay. If you want to be of the community and you don't want people to continue to reach out to you to ask you for money that the church can't afford to give them, okay, well, let's create a avenue so we can go out here and empower people, right? And then at the same time, when you look at empowering people, when people are empowered, they're loyal. You help somebody change their life, they're loyal. Okay. And when it's in a capacity of you being in a church and those people are making money now and they are believers and they tithes, now you're bringing more money into the church to do kingdom projects based off of the ministry that you created. Okay. And so more money, more tithes, more money, more offerings, right? Okay. More money, you don't have to now, lock the doors like the preacher did and said, nobody's leaving until we get this $20,000 gold. You know what I'm saying? No. Okay. That's just not how that works. I saw that. I was like, man, that's pretty aggressive. All right. But you gotta, like I said, you're solving a challenge. And so that's where I would start first. In the adding let's say the enhancing government ministry or the creation of one. Because when you look at that and you have that conversation with each and every last one of them, one, that conversation is evolving. Two, at some point in time somebody's going to come on board with you and take you up on that challenge of helping them create a ministry. And then three, once that happens, now you got an example and a story that you can tell. How am I getting all my tax business now? From that story I told about the taxation. And guess what? She's got 17,000 people, 8 offices. So when a person who has 500, people and they don't only a one man or one woman show, they're gonna listen to me because the clients that I'm working with are already bigger than what their business is doing. So if they are doing it with him, then I need to pay attention, right? So get one church, you get them all, right? Get one deacon, you get them all, right? And so that's the thing. Figure out now from that space, how can you add value to the church? That's where they spend most of the time at. That's where they're supposed to have the most impact at. And that's where the community always starts when it comes to looking for, help, right? So give them that access. Say, look, people are going to continue to come to you. Let me make sure that one, we put them in a position where we can help them. Two, there's a way that the church can actually override from this also, because if somebody in the church is a part of the business, now they can take that money and allocate those funds that they create on a residual base from the subscriptions. They can actually take that and now donate that money to the church as well. Okay, so nobody actually has to make the money for themselves. Somebody can actually make the money for the church and donate it. Okay? And that's how, again, you package it, because don't make it about the money, make it about what the money will do for the community and what it would do for the church, because ultimately church is a business too. They require funding, right? And so they're either going to find the funding or they're going to ask you for it. Right? So that's what I would do on the Bible Belt. That's how I would start. That's the foundation that I would start. Other than that, it's individual. When you talk about individual, then again, you figure out what their needs, what they wants are, what they can't live without right now, and that's your next step. But start with them being able to take something to the pastor and say, "Hey, pastor, look, we need to take a look at this." Yeah, and then go from there. Yep.
Yep. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for the
Yes, ma'am.
high value understanding of what we have in the Collaborate model, because that became very much more clear to me today. Thank you.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. And y'all are making it way more clear to each other, guys. Y'all are falling in love with it. And that's the thing, guys. When y'all fall in love with it at the same time, there's nothing nobody can do. It's just going to pick up and run. And it's just going to drive people crazy with it. James, what you got? What industry you got?
Appreciate it, man. I'm loving the topic of the retirees. I'm connecting some dots here this morning. My chicken list is full of retirees, right? And I've got also written down ego. So with the retirees, you definitely have that ego because they've worked hard all their life. They feel like they got it. They're getting the gold crown. So when I come in interrupting that, I got to be careful, but I can definitely use the collaboration video. And so I have experience in this last month, because I'm going through my chicken list, all three of those types of retirees. Leave me alone. Hey, I'm done working. I don't want no goals. No, I just want to travel. Not so much interested in making more money, because then that acknowledges that maybe I
I'm not
haven't done
retired.
as well in my career that I thought
Right.
I did. So I just appreciate this topic, man, and it's so true, and just getting nuggets from it.
Yeah. Think about it for a second. If I have a job and I'm working and I don't want the job, that's already a problem. But if I work my whole life to get rid of the thing that I didn't want, why would I want you to bring that and reinvent that, to reintroduce that to me, right? And so remember, perception versus that perspective. So let me go to their perception and what they're perceiving is that I'm interrupting. You said it. I didn't. I'm interrupting their life. Remember in the presentation, the last slide on why should you, partner with builders, continue to maintain your day to day without disruption. Right. So what you do is you go back to the lab when we hang up after we finish communicating with you, me and you right now, go back to the lab. It's okay. How can I present to them in a manner where this doesn't appear to be a disruption? It appears to be an added value to what they do. Okay. And so you go back and you don't even talk about the money. It's like I just told Laura, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be about the money and what it's about, but it's about what the deacon can do for the community, what the deacon can do for the church. Okay. So now the money is a byproduct of that. Right. So now when you look at this, what value can you add to a retired person who really doesn't need that money? So okay. Well, we have this travel program, Vacation Club. Travel Vacation Club. Make sure it's not a program. Okay. We want to make sure we keep the lifestyle verbiage in there. We want to keep it sexy, right? And so we have this travel and vacation club that a lot of retirees use. Saves them a ton of money. As a matter of fact, the people who are on it on the anniversary of their subscription, they get a free 4 to 5 star vacation, right? Over 3,000 locations around the world. You pick it out of those locations, and that stay is free. And that happens every year on your anniversary. So, while you're traveling around, visiting grands, while you're traveling around, doing whatever it is that you do with your spouse and enjoying your life in every other areas of the world on a discount, right? At the end of every year, you get a free vacation. So you're not just saving money, right? You're also getting a free trip. Never said anything about making money. And if you have other people this is the other thing is this, guys. I'm gonna give you guys this. I'm glad you hung on, those of you who hung around for a while. This is where you go back and say, okay, James, now you got people who you're retired, you got other retirees, right? You are a member, right? Now, as a member, James, you got Dr. Arlene, who's a really good close friend of yours, and you got Vic, who's a really close friend of yours. Both of them are retired too. Now, you can sell them a membership for $29. You can, as a customer, right? And they can now travel at a discount for you because you don't want your friends to have to pay full price when you travel with them, right? Correct. So why not have them, even though you got the membership, you're now the person who is now creating this travel club or this group that travel or putting people in a position where when they travel, right, with them, they travel at a discount and it's only $9 a month. You're helping your people. And I'm still not talking about how much money you're making. So now your family and friends who normally have to pay full price, they don't have to pay full price no more. They get a discount just like you. Now you can have more of your family and friends travel with you and have people with you that don't have to worry about price anymore. Right? And so there's a lot of different ways, again, that you can communicate with them. And notice I never said anything about that was disruptive to their day. You still waking up whenever you want. When the sun kisses your face and you say, okay, it's time. You still go to sleep when you want to. You still in any other city, state, and country where you want to. You still retire the way you want to. And oh, by the way, Jim, while you in this membership, if you happen to buy anything, you don't just you can either get a discount on it or you can get a rebate on it or you can get the commission on it and you're buying it from yourself. So this is just something that, again, this membership is something that you need to have. Okay. So the experience, I didn't sell my opportunity. I sold them the experience, the value of having this membership. And so when they buy into it at that point in time, they're not buying into work. They're buying into them empowering the people who are like them, who are retiring, who are retired, or who want to travel in their family. You give them that, and then that'll open up the door for more opportunities for you to communicate, other things that we may have upon them asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So guys, that's where we're at. We again, let's just continue to go out here and build on it. Let's go ahead and make sure that next week we have new, wins that we get a chance to celebrate you guys for. Because again, I appreciate everything you guys do and bring to the table, and everybody here. I'm quite sure you guys appreciate each other. Let's continue to go out here and make a difference, so we can go out here and put people in a position where they never have to worry about money again as long as they live. All right. So see you guys at the top. See you guys at the bank. See you guys at the beach, and let's go out here and make it happen. Let's go out here and collaborate.
Thanks, sir.